This episode is brought to you by the world's first reposado from Tequila Herradura. Made with slow-cooked, hand-harvested agave sealed into oak barrels and aged 11 months. Before being enjoyed in your glass. Experience the world's first reposado. Tequila Herradura. Please drink responsibly. Responsibility.org. Tequila Herradura. 40% alcohol by volume. Imported by Brown-Forman, Louisville, Kentucky. Herradura is a registered trademark. Copyright 2025 Brown-Forman Corporation.
Are you feeling more fulfilled now that you're back to work?
On August 15th.
No. I need a vacation.
See the movie that critics are saying is an awesome,
Look at that.
crowd-pleasing, fist-pumping, all-out brawl of a film.
You're right about that.
They're coming after our family. Go fix this.
Oh, my.
Nobody 2, rated R, only in theaters August 15th.
Hey, it's Sydney Sweeney. I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans. And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. Or that they make your butt look amazing. Why would I need to do that? But if you said that you want to buy the jeans, I'm not going to stop you. But just so we're clear, this is not me telling you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Sydney Sweeney, Hasbro jeans.
You see what I did there, right?
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Checking off the boxes on your to-do list is a great feeling. And when it comes to checking off coverage, a State Farm agent can help you choose an option that's right for you. Whether you prefer talking in person, on the phone, or using the award-winning app, it's nice knowing you have help finding coverage that best fits your needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
American soccer fans, welcome to episode 159 of the USA Soccer Cast. We are bringing you everything about the U.S. national teams, the players, the leagues, and everything else that impacts the game of soccer in these United States. I'm Donald Wine, and we have a fun episode today. I want to thank my buddy Amit for this suggestion. He gave the suggestion a while back, and so today's show is going to focus on some U.S. men's national team history, namely the biggest, most important wins in the team's history. As we look forward to the 2026 World Cup, it's important to look back at some of the great wins in U.S. men's national team history as a way to hopefully educate on the past as well as motivate us to add to that history next summer. There were several matches that we could consider in this, from the obvious to the ones that are for the sickos. But what was difficult was organizing them and then narrowing the list down to a top 10. But I did it. This is my list. It may not be yours, but I think you're going to like this list. And, of course, reliving some of these big-time moments. Before we get to the top 10, there were some wins that just missed out. And I'm going to call them our honorable mentions. And I want to mention them very quickly. The ones that I had listed that didn't make the final 10: USA 2, Colombia 1 in the 1994 World Cup. USA 3-2 over Portugal in the 2002 World Cup. USA over Argentina 3-0 in the 1995 Copa America. The first hat trick in World Cup history came when the U.S. beat Belgium 3-0 in the 1930 World Cup. It helped the U.S. to third place in this inaugural tournament that we now love. World Cup qualifying in 2014. USA 2, Mexico 0 to qualify for the 2014 World Cup. And then also 2006 World Cup qualifying, USA 2, Mexico 0. So those could be a list in itself. And a lot of you out there probably have some of these games on your own list. But now we get to my real list, my 10 biggest most important victories in U.S. men's national team history. And we begin at the bottom with number 10, and that is the 2007 Gold Cup final. USA 2, Mexico 1. It's obviously known for Benny Feilhaber's goal. It helped the U.S. extend their win streak over Mexico on American soil that they had at the time, and it had dated back basically most of the decade. I believe it was 8 straight entering that match, and Feilhaber's strike was one of the pivotal moments of the 2000s. It was also a really good game, back and forth, but to hold off your rival with a goal like that, to claim the Gold Cup trophy, it was amazing. That goal, that moment, everyone knows what that goal is. I don't have to explain it. I don't have to describe it. I don't even have to describe the call that Max Bretos had on that particular play. And that game will always live forever. And I think it's one of the 10 biggest victories that the U.S. has had, of course, over our rivals in Mexico. Number 9, the 2014 World Cup opener, USA 2, Ghana 1. The reason why this lives on for me, Ghana had eliminated us from the 2006 World Cup in the group stage. Ghana had eliminated us from the 2010 World Cup in the round of 16. And then the very first match we have in 2014, after losing in 2010 to Ghana, was in Natal against Ghana. I was there. And entering that match, we knew that Ghana was our World Cup Achilles heel. And so to get them off the bat, everyone was excited. You then had Clint Dempsey scoring inside of 30 seconds. That helped. Ghana equalizes in the middle of the second half. And then in the 86th minute, it's John Brooks. And let me tell you, the final horn, that goal everyone jumped in the air. I had, and the Dempsey goal, my friend next to me, poor child, I picked her up and I had no idea. I threw her in the air like she was a little kid. Caught her, had no idea, was just in a blackout situation. And so on that goal, I made sure to keep her on the ground, but we celebrated and we partied. Final whistle sounds again, 2-1 USA over Ghana. We have lifted that curse that we had over them, and we partied like champions that night. To finally beat Ghana really felt like the weight of the world was lifted off our shoulders. And I'm going to paraphrase my homie, Marcel, who said that night, I was in Nuremberg in 2006, I was in Rustenburg in 2010, but that's okay because tonight I was in Natal. That was the feeling. We finally beat Ghana, so nothing could stop us, and really was a big boost. And think about that 2014 World Cup. You think about Dempsey's goal, you think about John Brooks' goal, you think about that win over Ghana. Number 8, USA 1, Brazil 0 in the 1998 Gold Cup. This is the game where Casey Keller stood on his damn head. Quite famously, in the first half, I want to say, he denied a point-blank attempt by Romario, who first looked on in disbelief and then immediately shook Keller's hand in respect. After that game, he called it the greatest save he had ever seen. And Preki's 65th minute goal was the difference in this one. That was a pivotal moment. That's quite honestly one of the best teams we've ever beaten. And so you have to throw that game on this list because that was a huge boost for this program. Number 7, one of the wildest games I've ever seen live. USA 3, Mexico 2 after extra time, the 2021 Nations League final. I know some of you out there don't like the Nations League, and you know that I love the Nations League. It's my favorite tournament. There was some great play in this match. It was the very first Nations League trophy hanging in the balance, and both teams went for it, and they had a match for the ages. There was so much that happened. The chippiness. In extra time, you had the penalty for Christian Pulisic after a VAR call that then saw Mexico coach Tata Martino get a red card for interfering with the review. Pulisic buries the penalty, and you know what he does. Takes his shirt off, celebrates in the corner, shushing the crowd, and a photo that will live forever on t-shirts, on mixtape covers, and in our hearts. Then later on in extra time, Mexico draws a penalty, And Ethan Horvath, who subbed into the game after Zach Steffen got hurt close to the end of regulation, he steps up against Andres Guardado. Andres Guardado takes the penalty. Horvath saves it to preserve the win. And the United States lift the very first Nations League trophy, a trophy they would not concede until this year. And so I look at that game in the grand scheme of the USA-Mexico rivalry. That is one of the wildest games ever. It is one of the best games ever. And it's one that I think is a top 10 win. It was a very important win. The U.S. after that would go on to be unbeaten against Mexico until 2024. They basically held their arch rivals at bay for 5 straight years. And that game, in my mind, was the catalyst for that. Number 6, USA 1, Mexico 0. And this game was that 2012 friendly at Azteca. It is the first and only win that the United States has ever had at Estadio Azteca. And in the 80th minute, Michael freaking Orozco Fiscal, which is now his government name, can't call him by anything else, he scores the goal that gives the United States the win. And it finally showed that the United States can win at that fortress that Mexico holds in its nation's capital. And if you think about that game, think about this. The USMNT has not lost there since. Granted, it's been 3 draws at the Azteca, World Cup qualifiers in 2013, 2017, and 2022. But they have not lost at Azteca since that night in August 2012. We'll pause right here because we got to take a break. On the other side, we're down to the final 5. Which win will end up at number 1? You know what to do. Stick around and find out.
This summer, try the new Strato Frappuccino blended beverage at Starbucks. It's the classic blended iced coffee you know and love, now topped with a creamy layer of handcrafted brown sugar cold foam. Available for a limited time. Your Strato Frappuccino is ready at Starbucks.
Today's top story, the flavor merger of the century between the Peanut Butter Group and Chocolatey Corp. Joining me is a PBC executive.
Thanks for having me, Barry.
Now, how did you know the merger and the byproduct of it, Jif peanut butter and chocolate flavored spread, would be a success?
You know, it was a gut feeling, a rumbling, if you will. Besides, they're 2 titans of taste.
Very true. Goes great with pretzels.
And pancakes.
Apples too, I bet. Try Jif PBC today.
A massage chair might seem a bit extravagant, especially these days. 8 different settings, adjustable intensity, plus it's heated. And it just feels so good. Yes, a massage chair might seem a bit extravagant, but when it can come with a car, suddenly it seems quite practical. The all-new 2025 Volkswagen Tiguan, packed with premium features like available massaging front seats, it only feels extravagant.
Make your next vacation unforgettable on Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Star of the Seas. It's everything you've loved about every family vacation you've ever been on, with mind-blowing thrills at the largest water park at sea, 7 onboard pools for every level of chill, more than 40 ways to dine and drink, and even more to enjoy at our award-winning private island, Perfect Day at Coco Cay. This is the new Star of the Seas. Click or tap the banner to find out more.
Whether it's a movie night or just midday, Skinny Pop is a salty snack that keeps on giving. Made with just 3 simple ingredients for an irresistibly delicious taste and a large serving size that lasts. Deliciously popped, perfectly salted. Skinny Pop, popular for a reason. Shop Skinny Pop now.
Hey everyone, are you looking for the latest gear for your U.S. national teams, Major League Soccer, the NWSL, or any other team in the world of soccer? The USA Soccercast has affiliate partnerships that are ready to help you out. Head to linktree.com/USA Soccercast, where we have links to Homage, Fanatics, the MLS Store, and Breaking Team. You can get the jersey, shirt, hat, or accessory you're looking for to support your team, while also saving some money and helping this show in the process. Again, linktree.com/USA Soccercast. Click on the links and get your gear. And we thank you as always for for your support of the show. We're back, and we're continuing our countdown of the biggest victories in U.S. men's national team history. We've done our honorable mentions. I've done 10 through 6. Now it's time for the top 5. Again, this is my list. Your list might be different, but this is my top 5. We begin with number 5, and it's a monster. 90+1. USA 1, Algeria 0 at the end of the group stage of the 2010 World Cup. It has arguably the best goal, the greatest goal in United States men's national team history. That's Landon Donovan's goal. I don't have to do the call that Ian Dark did. Everyone knows it by heart. But that moment is arguably the biggest moment in the program's history, at least for the fans. And I love that game. The fact that it's 5 should tell you some of the games that are coming up that are very, very strong. But that win was super important. We won the group with that. Again, that was the group we had with England, Algeria, Slovenia. And when the draw happened, English fans wrote easy. The press wrote easy because they thought they were a shoo-in to win that group. We draw them. We draw Slovenia. We beat Algeria. We win the group. But 90+1. If anyone in United States men's national team land says 90+1, you know what game it is, you know who we're talking about, and you can recreate it with your eyes closed. Number 4, the shot heard round the world. USA 1, Trinidad and Tobago 0, the 1989 World Cup qualifier. Paul Caligiuri's shot heard round the world is probably the most important goal ever scored by any American in any competition. The first time that the United States makes the World Cup in 40 years. They needed to win this game. There was no draws that would let them in. And to do it on the road at Hazley Crawford Stadium in front of 40,000 people in Port of Spain, Paul Caligiuri, his goal was an epic goal in itself. And funny enough, a lot of people didn't see that match. All they saw was that clip on SportsCenter on tape delay later on. And so that goal, that win, gave the United States their first berth in the World Cup in 40 years. And it started the modern era of this national team. We're down to the top 3, ladies and gentlemen. Number 3, USA 2, Spain 0 in the 2009 Confederations Cup. Spain had a 34-game win streak. They were the number 1 team in the world entering that match in this semifinal of the Confederations Cup. The U.S. had needed a miracle to even get to this point. They beat Egypt 3-0 after losing their first 2 games to get by just barely into the knockout stage. And Josie Altidore with an amazing goal. Clint Dempsey with an amazing goal. They stunned the Spaniards. Again, people thought this Spain team was invincible. They had not been beaten in a very long time. And the United States, of all teams, comes through and rocks them back to reality. This was one of the most important games in men's national team history, one of the biggest games, and of course, one of the biggest wins in the program's history. And it's one of my favorites. Number 2, USA 1, England 0 in the 1950 World Cup. Now, this game is one of those where, of course, for all of us, almost all of us, we were not alive for this. So it's hard to think about the magnitude. But FIFA has called this game the greatest upset in world soccer history. Not in World Cup history, not in American soccer history, world soccer history. The greatest upset ever. It's called the Miracle on Grass. An underdog U.S. team They had lost their last seven matches by a combined score of 45-2. They had guys who weren't full-time players. And they stunned an English team that everyone thought was by far the best team in the world in Belo Horizonte. Joe Gatchins scores the lone goal in the first half. And the funny thing is even after the game was over and they lift and carry Gatchins off the field, the press thought the scoreline was a typo. And so some in England ran headlines that said they must have meant 10-0 England, maybe 11-1 England. That's got to be a typo. It wasn't. The biggest team, arguably the best team in the world, had gone down to a bunch of ragtag Americans, some of whom weren't even American, because back then the rules were different about who could represent your national team. And so this game right here falls at number 2 on my list, but it is considered by FIFA to be the greatest upset in the history of soccer. Now, my number 1 biggest, most important victory in U.S. men's national team history, you probably already know. 2-0, USA 2, Mexico 0, in the 2002 World Cup round of 16. It's the greatest 2-0. It's the ultimate ace up our sleeve. We beat our arch rivals in one of the biggest rivalries in the world in the knockout stage of the World Cup. No matter what Mexico does, we have that over them. In any debate in this rivalry over which team had the biggest victory, which team is the best, and you say, oh, well, we beat you here, you guys beat us there, we can say Jeonju 2002, and El Tri fans got to shut up. Starts with Brian McBride with a goal in the 8th minute, followed up in the second half, in the 65th minute with a goal by Landon Donovan, a young Landon Donovan at the time. And defeating Mexico 2-0 in a knockout stage of the World Cup to send them home and start a curse that continues for them, where that 5th game that they just can't win. From there, the U.S. moved on to the quarterfinals. Of course, we were robbed against Germany, and one could make the stretch case that if that handball in the Germany match gets called and the USA comes back to win, they then head to the semifinals against South Korea, who they had drawn in the group stage. So they have a realistic chance of making a World Cup final where, let's be real, wasn't nobody beating R9 in Brazil, but we would have been there. And that belief started with that 2-0 in Jeonju. So there it is. My 10 biggest, most important victories in the history of the United States men's national team program. I definitely want you all to discuss this list and also give us your list. You can comment on the post on Blue Sky. There will be an article that we have on Stars and Stripes FC, our newly redesigned site, so check it out. Let everyone know what your top 10 is. But this was a fun episode. Again, thank you to my buddy Meat for this suggestion. We're actually going to do one for the women too. And frankly, that's going to take some extra time to narrow down to 10 games. But that will do it for this episode 159 of the USA Soccer Cast. Thank you for listening. Remember, you can find us on Blue Sky and YouTube. Follow us on both at USA Soccer Cast. Subscribe, rate, and review our shows. It helps us get in front of new people, and it's greatly appreciated. Tell your friends about us, and then finally, head to linktree.com/USA Soccercast to check out our affiliate links and our stimulus store. We have everything you need to watch the beautiful game and follow your teams, and using these links also helps support the show, so we appreciate that in advance. We'll talk to you again soon, y'all. Peace.